In this lesson, we will take a close look at the JavaScript variables. You'll be surprised how little you know about it. There are two ways we can create a variable in JS: VAR and let. We'll start with VAR. Creating a variable includes two steps: variable declaration and value assignment. VAR A is the declaration part. It tells the system that a new variable named A has been created. A equals to hello is the value assignment part. It tells the system that the content of variable A is string hello. So var A equals to hello is the same as var A equals to hello. It's okay to declare a variable without assigning any value to it. In this case, the variable will receive a default value which is undefined. Undefined is not an error, it simply means a variable has been declared but has not received any value yet. Outputting a variable that has not been declared is not allowed. We will get a reference error saying variable is not defined. We can directly assign a value to a variable without declaring it first. We still can output the variable value, but this is a very bad coding habit. You should avoid it at all times. What happens if we output a variable before its declaration? Let's find out. We did not get an error report, but we did not get the actual variable value either. We got undefined. So why? The reason for this is hoisting. When the program is being executed, all variable declarations will be hoisted to the top of their scope. A is a global variable, so its declaration will be hoisted to the top of the program, which means A is declared before console log. But only the declaration part will be hoisted. The value assignment part will stay unmoved. This is what our program looks like when it's being executed. Variable A is declared first. Then it is console logged. In the end, it receives a value. That's why we got undefined rather than the actual variable value. Before ES6, JavaScript only had two types of scope: global scope and function scope. So what is scope? According to the Mozilla manual, scope means the current context of execution. To put it simply, scope means a limited space where variables, constants, objects, and functions are usable. Scopes can be nested and are entry-only. Entry-only means child scope can access everything from the parent scope, but not vice versa. For example, in the global scope, we define a variable, A. Below A, we define a global function. Space inside the function is a function scope. Global variables can be accessed from here, but local variables cannot get out. We console log A and run the function. We can see the value of A has been output successfully. Inside the function scope, we define another variable, B. B is only visible inside this function scope. It can't be accessed from the global scope. We can see we got a reference error saying B is not defined. If we define variable A inside the function scope, it will override the global A. ES6 has introduced a new type of scope, block scope. Block scope can be created using a pair of curly brackets. For example, an if statement is a block scope. From inside the block scope, we can access A because it is from the parent scope. But we can't access B because it's from the sibling scope. But there's a problem with block scope. It's not supported by VAR. For example, we create a variable C in the if statement. We can still access it from the global scope. To create variables that support block scope, ES6 offers us a new way of declaring variables, let. We can see after we have switched var into let, we can no longer access C from the global scope.